and welcome to Find Your Nottingham Live, a virtual open day brought to you by the University of Nottingham. I'm Annabelle Rackham and I'm delighted to be back here where both Deepak and I studied, to tell you all about this brilliant university and everything it has to offer.
Hi everyone, I'm Deepak Kataria and it's great to be here hosting this event for all of you who are interested in postgraduate study. Annabelle and I have been both lucky enough to experience what Nottingham has to offer and how that can change your life and take you to the places you want to go.
Thank you for joining us from wherever you are in the world today, and we hope that this event will help provide you with all the information that you need to choose Nottingham as the place to study.
We will be hearing from key people across the university to tell you more about the things we know are important to you when making your decision. You'll hear from our support services, you'll hear from our students, and you'll also hear from the academics specializing in the areas you're most interested in.
Throughout the show today, you can submit any questions you have via the QR code that is now showing on the screen. We have a team working away behind the scenes who will be answering these for you during the event. If you're watching this on the university website, you can find out more about any of the topics we cover using the links in the schedule below.
Before we welcome our first guests, our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Jane Norman, would like to welcome you to the event.
Hello, I'm Professor Jane Norman, and it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you to Find Your Nottingham Live here at the University of Nottingham. Wherever in the world you're tuning in from, we're delighted to have you with us here today. Thank you for taking the time to find out what makes Nottingham such a unique place for postgraduate study. We've designed this event with you in mind, so we hope you find it both informative and inspiring. Our institution is dedicated to academic excellence, world-leading research, and providing a transformative educational experience that will prepare you for the future. Our postgraduate courses are designed to unlock your full potential, propelling you towards your career goals. The skills and specialist knowledge you'll learn here will provide you with the perfect launchpad for whatever comes next. We're a member of the prestigious Russell Group of Universities and proud to be named a top 20 UK university in the latest QS World University Rankings. We also have a rich history of groundbreaking research. Nottingham is the birthplace of MRI, and the latest REF rankings placed us 7th in the UK for research power. If you ask me what's special about Nottingham, I'd have to say it's a vibrant, inclusive community we've created here, one that blends innovation with tradition. We're also a global university. We have campuses in China and Malaysia, while Nottingham itself is home to students from more than 150 countries. Our graduates are also highly sought after by leading companies worldwide. The 2024 High Flyers Graduate Market Report named us as the third most targeted UK university by the country's top employers. In fact, your success when you leave here is just as important to us as your time on campus. It's why our courses will equip you with the real-world skills, experiences and connections you need to get ahead. We also offer expert careers advice for life, meaning we'll be here whenever you need us. Here at Nottingham, you'll find beautiful, vibrant and diverse campuses, complete with cutting-edge facilities, all within easy reach of the historic city of Nottingham, a green city with a legendary past and a bright future. Choosing a university for your postgraduate study is a big decision, and we want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. Our dedicated staff are here to support you every step of the way. Today, you'll hear from our wonderful faculty members and current postgraduate students who will share their experiences and insights into life at the University of Nottingham. Although we may not be together in person, I encourage you to engage with us and ask any questions you may have. We want to ensure that you have a comprehensive understanding of what it means to be part of our community. As we begin today's event, I invite you to open your minds to the possibilities that await you here at Nottingham. We're excited to share our story and show you why we believe this is the right place for you to pursue your dreams. Thank you once again for joining us, and let's embark on this journey together. Enjoy the event.
Today's event focuses on engineering. All the subjects included have been chosen because they complement each other as areas of interest or allow you to discover another relevant subject that you may not have considered before.
There are so many options available to you, so it's always worth spending a bit of time to see what else might inspire you. Have a look at the schedule to see what's coming up. Remember to ask any questions you have using the QR code. We'll be right back with our first guests after this.
Our guest now is Dr. Alex Chong, Associate Professor in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Welcome to you. First of all, can you give me a bit of an overview of the MSc courses that are available in both Electrical and Electronic Engineering and how students can determine which is the right course for them?
Thank you for having me here. On our standard one-year MScs, we have three key specialist areas that students can choose from. The first one is our Electronic Communication and Computer Engineering, which focuses on the design of electronic circuits and also the application of advanced programming language then in electronic devices, including communication-based systems. So that's the first one. The second one then is our electrical engineering-based MScs, which is related to the generation of electrical power, transmission over long distances, distribution, storage, and ultimately consumption. Key aspects of the second course then also include how we can use conventional sources sustainably, and then also related to the use of renewable energy generation. And then the last one then is our mix of electrical and electronic engineering MSc, whereby students can effectively choose technical modules from both groups, electrical and electronic, effectively enabling them then to tailor their MScs to suit their needs and interest. Okay.
And what is it about the University of Nottingham that is the ideal place to study these courses?
Okay. Our students learn from world-class researchers. They study on our award-winning campuses using state-of-the-art facilities, and supported by really is a very dedicated team of professional colleagues. So I can think of multiple reasons why people should make Nottingham their first choice to study. And as a top Russell Group universities, we have three strong research teams within the department. So the first one is our optics and photonics team. They develop devices for the healthcare industry. We have our George Green Electromagnetic Research Group, and they basically involve in the latest in terms of wireless communication, chip-to-chip wireless communication. And then finally, our Power Electronics and Machine Control Center. And they are perhaps one of the largest research centers on the planet, developing technologies that will allow electric vehicles to go further, for example, developing technologies that will enable us then basically to harvest more energy from solar photovoltaics and wind turbines, Yeah.
And how is it that the course is structured? Is there a balance between theoretical knowledge and practical hands-on experience?
So our courses are all accredited by the Engineering Council. So it meets the standards stipulated by the professional body when it comes to an engineering qualification. The course is arranged so that the students pick up lab skills right at the very start. So effectively preparing them for the project work. Across the autumn term, then we develop the communication skills. We work with our Centre for English Language Education for that. They have to prepare a business proposal to a client. So they come together as a group. They have to think about a solution to a problem that we give them. So the last example is how will they automate the tram network in Nottingham. So effectively preparing a business case or sales pitch, if you like, to the Nottingham City Council, and looking not just within the technical aspects, but is there a business case, and how long is a payback period, for example, safety aspects, environment when it comes to energy consumption and things like that. So it's really about preparing them for work in real life. So that's the autumn term, one of the key things that we do with them. And then in the spring term, then basically they work on developing the project. So they don't wait all the way until June before they start working on the project. But in the spring, they meet with the supervisors, they develop the aims, they look at the objectives. If there's anything which they need to purchase in front, up ahead, and a risk assessment, they do that there and then, before they can hit the ground running effectively in June. So it's about preparing our students for work as an engineering society when they graduate from us. Yeah.
And what are some of the, when you go out into the real world, what are some of the careers that are open to postgraduate students, and what do people typically do when they graduate?
Yeah. So we have graduates working for a range of companies. So those with the electronic communication and computer engineering background, they would work for example, companies like Huawei, Xiaomi, designing chip, for example, for these tech companies. Those who enter companies relating to the generation of electrical energy, utility companies, so EDF Renewables is one, McDonald Consultancy Company, the National Grid, for example. We do have a lot of overseas students on our PGT courses, so those in China, for example, with Shanghai Electric Corporation, the National Grid in the country. So it's electrical engineers, project managers, for example, software developers for the tech companies, and also Tesla, not forgetting Tesla, especially students with a EEE background. Yeah.
And what is something that you enjoy the most about being involved in engineering at the university?
Yeah, I guess the one that gives me greatest satisfaction is to see my students, walk up on stage to receive the diploma from my dean. But it really is, I work with a very dedicated team of colleagues. As a subject, we are one of the best in the country. We provide support to students. So it's about basically supporting them, teaching them, mentoring them, so that when they finish with us, they can realize the full potential and then graduate as a Nottingham alumni, So that, I would say, is the best thing for me, yeah.
And is this a course that is open to international students? And if so, what is the support that's available to them whilst they're doing their postgraduate studies?
Yeah, it's a very good question. With international students, a vast majority of our students are from overseas. And so it's, I guess it's a question of improving the confidence in terms of using English, because English is the language of the course, improving the ability then to help them analyze problems, connects the dots, so to speak, preparing coursework, not just the examination, and then undertaking a very large piece of individual project work in the summer. And that's why the spring project development module in from February all the way till about May really does help them a lot, Settling them, provide them with the confidence, communication skills, technical abilities, not just the knowledge, but also skills in the lab, so that they can do well. Yeah.
And who is this course for in terms of what undergraduate degrees someone has done? What can their background be in order to take this on?
So somebody with a telecommunication background, so to do with, antennas, to do with communication, wireless communication, for example, might consider our electronic communication and computer engineering. Somebody with a generic electrical and electronic might consider MSc in EEE. So those who wish to work for an automated manufacturing companies producing EVs, for example, Tesla, then perhaps the EEE would be a suitable match. Those who are interested in working for utility companies, electrical energy production, solar PVs, wind power, then the electrical-based MSc would be suitable. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That was very, very useful information. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we will be right back after this.
Welcome to the home of extraordinary civil engineers and managers. This MSc is ideal for engineers who want to fast-track their career in construction and management sectors. You'll gain the latest civil engineering and management knowledge from globally recognized experts. On our MSc Civil Engineering and Management course, you'll learn how management principles are critical to the success of building projects. The University of Nottingham is a place where leaders, managers, and academics come together and provide you the opportunity to learn with some of the greatest minds. You'll have access to world-class facilities across 2 of our award-winning campuses. We're a global university with staff and students from over 150 countries. Our business school is among the elite group of business schools worldwide to gain Triple Crown accreditation from the 3 most influential accrediting organizations. You've got the skills. Now lead the change and construct the future.
I'm now joined by Dr. Panos Similis, Associate Professor in Civil Engineering. Welcome, Panos.
Thank you.
So, if you can get started, can you give us an overview of all the MSc courses that are offered under Civil Engineering, and how can students choose the right course for them?
So, in Civil Engineering, we cover several courses, and you can specialize in various fields of civil engineering. So all the courses, they equip you with fundamental knowledge and skills which you can use whether you want to become a practical engineer or a project manager or even digital construction. So for example, the MSc course in Advanced Civil Engineering covers various fields, various topics, all the main topics of civil engineering, and you can choose which topics they are more attractive to you, and then you can choose and you can tailor your learning, and whether you want to focus more in structural engineering or in coastal engineering, hydraulics, geotechnical. If you are more into developing safe and efficient structures, then you could focus, then the right program is the MSc course in structural engineering and digital construction, where you learn about the main principles and knowledge in structural analysis, design, and how you can apply those in real structures, in real world structures. If you would like to mix civil engineering with management, In that case, then the MSc course in Civil Engineering and Management is the right choice. And this is a joint program between civil engineering and business school, and you will have the opportunity to be taught by experts in both fields. And also, you will have the opportunity to work on group projects focusing on real-world problems, civil engineering problems, where you apply also management principles. Finally, if you are more into how to apply advanced digital tools in engineering, design, and construction, then you can focus on the MSc course of Civil Engineering and Digital Construction, where you learn advanced software tools and technologies such as building information modeling, and you will see how you can apply those through group projects in real-world problems, and how you can use the latest technology. So, the thing is that you can think what suits most better to you, and then you can make the right choice. But regardless your choice, the skills and the knowledge that you will acquire, they will help you in whatever career you will follow.
I think that gives us a great perspective in understanding the variation of courses available. So what do you think makes University of Nottingham an ideal place to study these courses?
Well, University of Nottingham is ideal for studying civil engineering because it is ideal for people who want to have a career where they can combine creativity with practical application. So civil engineers actually, they shape the world. We build, we design, we maintain all the infrastructure which is around us, and we take it for granted. So our course, they are designed in order to help you to make a difference for both people's lives and the world by focusing on sustainable and resilient solutions for the future, for the UK and globally. So at the University of Nottingham, the courses for civil engineering, they're designed in that way so that you are equipped with knowledge and skills which will help you, and they're essential for your career. Also, you will work on group projects, and you will develop skills, how you can delegate responsibilities and within your group, which are skills which are essential for whatever career path you will choose. Furthermore, the University of Nottingham, we have world-class facilities, we have very good links with the industry, and this creates a great environment where the innovation and the practical application goes hand in hand. So whether you want to become a site engineer, structural engineer, project manager, or purchase potentially a researcher career or even academic, so you will have plenty of opportunities to chase your dream, basically.
Perfect. And I think you touched upon the world-class facilities that are available to the students. So what resources and facilities can students access?
So we have resources and facilities covering most disciplines of civil engineering. One of the main highlights is the geotechnical centrifuge that we have, which is one of the very few in the UK. So geotechnical centrifuge basically is an equipment which allows you to test soil designs under high stress by increasing the gravity. So in simple words, the students have the opportunity to study complex geotechnical systems, for example, how you can have the underground excavation, how the underground excavation can affect existing buildings. So students who are interested in geotechnical engineering, they can focus on a research project, and they can access this facility through the Nottingham Centre of Geomechanics, which is one of the best equipped in the UK. On the other hand, students who are more keen on doing projects, research projects on pavement engineering, then they can focus, they can have the opportunity to access the Nottingham Asphalt Tester, which has been developed by researchers in Nottingham, and actually it's a tool for industry standards on testing asphalt properties. And so if somebody would like to do project, then they would have access to this facility as well. Also, we have for students who are more interested in structures, we have they can have experimental studies in the structures lab, and they can test the strength of materials, steel, concrete, composite materials, or structural elements, beams, columns, and how they behave under different loading conditions by testing them in the frame reaction that we have, resisting frame that we have, and the impact ring. Furthermore, we have also for the students of the MSc course in Civil Engineering and Management, they will have access in advanced softwares and digital tools like building information modeling and other project management tools. They will also have, through the business school, access to databases like the inventory, carbon and energy, Bloomberg terminals, so we will have access to data and information which is important for finance and economics. Also, we have civil engineering, we have facilities which cover geotechnical and hydraulics experiments. We have also Nottingham Geospatial Institute, which is a well-known facility for testing, surveying and geodetic equipment. We have testing facilities for for testing the strength of materials for projects in highways, railways and airports. And we have, for students who are interested in wind engineering, we have the wind tunnel lab where they can test how the structure is behaving under a different wind load. And of course, for students who have more interest in complex computational problems, then they can access the high-performance computer cluster of the University of Nottingham.
Can you also comment on the career paths that are available to the students graduating in these courses?
So the thing is that we have several courses. So usually the civil engineering graduates, they have very diverse career paths. So many of them, they work in some of the most well-known bigger companies in the UK, but also globally. So we have civil engineer graduates who work in firms such as Atkins, Mott MacDonald, WSP, and they work on big, large civil engineering infrastructure projects. We have also graduates who work on organizations like GeoSolutions or Elliott Wood, and we have also graduates which work in more international organizations like German Railway, the French Ministry of Transport. So there is a lot and a big diverse of the career path that our civil engineer graduates can follow.
Thank you so much, Panos, for the informative chat. And we'll be right back after this.
Came to the fair because there was a few companies that I was really interested in, and I'm really happy to see them and talk to them.
I've come to the careers fair today to explore different career paths that are available for me after I graduate.
And a few years ago, when we were looking at the recruitment, we looked at where the students were coming from who were being successful. And actually Nottingham was right at the top. So we identified Nottingham as one of our gold universities.
I'm really excited to be here. There's lots of employers, lots of great opportunities.
Being able to tap into the talent that is here is really exciting for us.
I think it's very busy and it's a very exciting environment to be in.
would now like to welcome Colin Scotchford, Associate Professor in Mechanical Materials and Manufacturing Engineering. Welcome, Colin.
Thank you.
So to start with, can you give me an overview of the MSc courses that are offered under Mechanical Materials and Manufacturing Engineering, and how can students choose the right course for them?
Okay, so we've got quite a diverse set of courses in M3. So if I go through them first of all, name them, we've got the Bioengineering MSc, Additive Manufacturing and 3D Printing, Human Factors and Ergonomics, Mechanical Engineering, and then finally Advanced Materials. So in terms of choosing what course to do, with Bioengineering, that's quite a broad subject area. So in Nottingham we focus on biomaterials, biomechanics, and imaging and sensing aspects of the subject. And that really plays to the research strengths that we have within the faculty in those areas. With the additive manufacturing and 3D printing, if students want to focus on additive manufacturing, that's the course for them really. So if they're wanting to produce complex structures using advanced additive manufacturing technology, that's the course for them. With the Human Factors course, that's really looking at applying human-centered design principles to address practical challenges within engineering generally. And that's quite an increasingly sought after area within industry currently. The mechanical engineering, that's looking at a whole scale of engineering from small components through to large scale machines. And students can specialise within that course. So we've got streams in automotive, in aerospace, in manufacturing, and in what we term advanced mechanical engineering. And then the fifth one, the advanced materials, that's really looking at the behaviour of materials and materials processing, so students can really make quite an informed choice on selection and development or design of advanced materials for a range of applications.
Perfect. So from your personal experience, what makes University of Nottingham the ideal choice for studying these courses?
Okay, so really facilities, I think. So we've got excellent facilities for both teaching and research in all of those areas. And I could maybe give some examples for each of those courses. So for the bioengineering, students will have access to a sort of state-of-the-art biomechanical analysis of human motion lab. So that's both for sort of rehabilitation aspects, sort of healthcare, as well as sports science applications. We've also got a dedicated cell culture suite for development of biomaterials and tissue engineering applications. So students in their projects will get access to that. If you look at the additive manufacturing, students in that course will be part of the centre for additive manufacturing, and they have a suite of advanced additive manufacturing technology. Students will get access to that in their projects. Human factors, so we have a virtual reality classroom that they'll get access to. So that was the first of its type in a UK university. So it's sort of got the sort of latest VR technology that they can use in that in an immersive way. If we then go on to mechanical engineering, so there's access to sort of industry standard tools like CNC plasma cutting machines and CNC milling machines, for example. And then finally, the advanced materials. There are excellent research facilities for both manufacturing materials and characterizing materials. So for example, we've got the nano and micro-scale research centre, which has got a world-leading suite of characterisation equipment there.
Those are some great examples of the facilities students can use while studying these courses. Now, if we talk about career progression, so can you comment on what industries do graduates typically enter and what support do they have?
Okay, so in terms of destinations following graduation, I could give some examples of sort of larger prominent companies. So from the biomaterials side or the bioengineering side, I'm thinking of companies like Baxter Healthcare, Smith & Nephew being two recent sort of destinations where we've had students going. In the more general mechanical engineering areas, companies like Rolls-Royce, Airbus, Ford, BAE Systems, Jaguar Land Rover, with students going to all those kind of destinations. We also have a stream of students who decide they want to carry on in research rather than going to industry. So we've got students taking up PhDs both in Nottingham and elsewhere in the UK as well. In terms of support, so the summer project is probably an area where which has a big influence on where students might go from their experience from the subject they study. So typically supervisors on those projects will have strong industry connections. We also have students who are doing projects which have an industry partner associated with it. So it's feeding into a particular company, the project they're doing. Another way they can engage with industry, so there's a number of research institutes within the university. So I'm thinking of things like the University of Nottingham Energy Institute, the Institute of Aerospace Technology, and the Rolls-Royce University Technology Centre. So MSc students can engage with those institutes and sort of see research being translated into sort of real-world solutions within companies.
All great answers. So from your own experience, what is that one thing you enjoy the most about being involved in engineering at Nottingham?
Okay, well, I'd narrow that question down to thinking about teaching within the MScs in engineering. So what I enjoy most there is seeing the enthusiasm and the development of the MSc students as they go through their various courses, and then sort of satisfaction once they've graduated of seeing them establish their careers. And sometimes, so I'm course director for bioengineering, students tend to keep in touch, or some students do, and I'm getting feedback from students maybe 10, 15 years down the line as they progress through their career. So that's really satisfying seeing that.
Perfect. I think that's all the questions we have for you today. Thank you for being with us today, Colin. Okay. And we'll be right back after this.
We now welcome to the studio Dr. Eleanor Binner, Associate Professor, and Dr. Yanming Wang, Assistant Professor in Chemical and Environmental Engineering. Welcome to you both. So can you start by giving me an overview of the MSc courses that are available in both chemical and environmental engineering, and how students can decide which course is right for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So the University of Nottingham Chemical and Environmental Engineering Department have got quite a wide range of different MSc programmes depending on what really your interests are. So if you're interested in designing the future processes for our energy, pharmaceuticals, food sectors or a wide range of other sectors, then the Advanced Chemical Engineering MSc is a really good choice. This is all about learning how to provide the materials that we need for our everyday life, but in the most sustainable and efficient ways. We then have Environmental Process Engineering MSc. This is for if you have like an interest in solving our environmental issues. So we take a chemical engineering approach, which is actually unique in environmental engineering courses, and we use this and we apply it to challenges in air, soil and water treatment as well. Then we come to food and drinks industry, which actually is one of the largest global industries and with huge demand for skilled engineers, and yet very, very few programs that focus on food engineering, and that's exactly what our food process engineering course does. So it really takes a really good look at the role of engineers in food production and looks at this within a global context. Finally, last but not least, we have sustainable energy engineering. So I really can't understate how important sustainable energy is, not only to address climate concerns, but also for geopolitical stability. And what this course does is it equips students with technical skills and also the practical strategies they can do to deploy them no matter which country they end up working in. So as you can see, we have a really great range of courses within our department. Which one you choose is really up to you, what excites you, where your passions lie. All of them will equip you with the professional qualifications and a great career future going forwards.
And what is it about the University of Nottingham, what makes it the ideal choice for studying in these topic areas?
I think there are several factors. I mean, the first one is all the courses are derived from cutting-edge research. It's very relevant currently. And we have a strong industrial link, and then also the courses are taught in a way emphasizing practical practice. So the students learn the theories, but also get a strong hands-on experience, so really prepare them for their future careers. And also all the courses are delivered by a blend of academic and industrial experts. So not only they are strong in theoretical knowledge, but also students can learn from years and years or even decades of industrial experience from our experts coming directly from that major sectors. Also, all of the courses are credited by the relevant engineering bodies like IChemE, IOM3. So the degree they get will lead them to chartership or help them to lead to chartership. That also will bring certain edge in career development. And maybe if I can add, the department also provides high quality facilities in terms of laboratories and design studios, which are really important for chemical and environmental courses studies. And also the faculty and department also provide a quite hands-on support in career development and career coaching as well. So overall, it's really strong support for students' engineering career, I think.
And are there any opportunities for working on real-world projects, and have you got any examples of what students recently have been doing?
Yes, absolutely. All of our students get to take part in some real-world research with the great staff that Yanming was just mentioning. So yesterday I was talking to one of our graduates who graduated several years ago. While he was here, he did a research project in an industrial microwave processing theme, which was an area he knew absolutely nothing about before he started the project. And he developed a real passion for that research area while he was in the group, and in fact he got on with the supervisors so well that they invited him back to do a PhD in a real-world bioenergy application using microwave technologies. And now, in fact, this has led him to his whole career pathway that he wasn't expecting, which is now he's a senior researcher. He works on a wide range of industrial projects with both small and large companies. And a specific example is a major project that he's leading at the moment with a major multinational to develop a new plastics recycling process.
So, if you're a student and you're looking into going into one of these postgraduate courses in chemical and environmental engineering, what advice would you give them?
I think the most important one would be keep your curiosity and be willing to think out of the box, because engineering is all about solving real world problem, and our courses are designed in such a way as well. Really doesn't matter which courses you are interested in. So you really need this willingness to develop a solution. And how to get there, I think you need to be not afraid to ask questions. As I earlier explained, we have really nice combination of experts with a lot of experience, and to be honest, we are eager to share. So students can really get help, plenty of help from not just study itself, but also future career perspectives as well. And also, again, taking advantage of the hands-on approach in our courses, practice, and because our projects are, like Ellie just mentioned, they are highly related to the current challenges. Maybe the last, also, students should pay attention to develop their professional network. So doing an MSc course is really the good opportunity to meet people and participate in community activities, enjoy the group work, and after all, how we learn is not just learn the knowledge from theories, it's also learn from other people. And that's one of the important factors shaping your future career. So I think that's my advice.
And is this a course that's open to international students? And is there any support available to them?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a blend of international and domestic students on all of our courses from all over the world. We know that comes with challenges because people are studying alongside people who have already been through our programs and they know what to expect. So we offer a lot of support specifically from the Centre for English Language Education. We work very closely with them to develop bespoke English language support. So for example, when it comes to answering our style of exam questions, that might be different to what students have experienced in their previous undergraduate studies. So we offer bespoke courses where we show them exactly good and bad examples of how to answer those questions in our style of exams.
So what is the best thing about working at the University of Nottingham?
Oh, it's absolutely the people. I get to work with colleagues from a wide range of academic and industrial backgrounds. I get to teach and learn from students from all over the world. I get to share my passion about engineering and my true belief that engineering can actually lead solving the challenges that we see every time we turn on the TV, which can feel overwhelming at times. As engineers, we really do help to provide the quality of life that we want every day, while also preserving the world for future generations. And, why not do that in Nottingham?
Thank you so much for that and for joining me today. And we will be right back after this.
What motivated me to study architecture and sustainable design was the current need to do something about the climate change and how the built environment affects everything that is happening.
The responsibility of educating the next generation of designers is absolutely enormous. And it's great to see the university here looking at ways to reuse existing buildings, to salvage materials, to address community needs
Part 1 course has given me a strong grounding in architecture across all bases, but it's allowed me to specialise in areas such as representation and drawing, which I hope to use in my career in the future.
My design work has improved across the year by learning new skills using softwares like Photoshop and SketchUp.
The highlight of my Part 2 course was definitely the study trip to Paris. We got to see a load of amazing buildings and also became really close as a course.
Architecture nowadays is heading towards sustainability, and so it should. It should centre around sustainability and the carbon goals, and our course exists to make sure that there are people that can understand how to do that.
My favourite part of Nottingham has been the city and the people I've met. This experience as an international student to live in another country and be able to learn about the culture and learn about different educational methods has been really incredible for me.
It's really heartening to see quite a number of studios addressing the question of reuse of existing buildings, both heritage buildings, for example, on the Gloucester waterfront, as well as existing high street buildings, looking for new ways to inhabit these buildings using salvage materials in some cases. This is what architects of the future need to be thinking about.
I'm now joined in the studio by Professor Lucelia Rodriguez, Head of Department, and Dr. Benjamin Jones to tell us more about the courses in Architecture and Built Environment. Welcome to you both. So can you give me an overview of the master's courses that are available in Architecture and Built Environment and how students choose which course is right for them?
Hello Annabelle, it's so great to be here to talk about our courses. The Department of Architecture and Built Environment at the University of Nottingham is one of the largest and most well established in the country. We have a long-standing focus on sustainability, and we deliver everything across the sustainable built environment, and our masters are particularly focused on that area. We've got 8 master's courses, 4 of them are in March, which means they're focused on masters in architecture, focus on design, and have a very large design base studio space. These courses have a very practical aspect, so students will learn stuff in the classroom that they have to apply into design, and they go back and forth and they develop their design skills really highly, and they come to the end, they're able to do a master's dissertation, either focus on the research piece that relates to the built environment and architecture, or focus on a design that has a research base as a background. The courses are based mostly in sustainable design, and they are very much designed for architects or people with the background on building design. The Masters in Science courses, the MSCs, are a little bit different. They are focused on building performance and building engineering, and my colleague Ben will talk a little bit more about them.
Yes, our engineers tend to work with architects to keep the people who occupy buildings happy, healthy and comfortable, but of course the systems that we need to do that, heating, cooling, conditioning systems, use energy and therefore have a carbon output and cost a lot of money both to install and to run. So our engineers tend to focus on that side of it, not only keeping people happy, healthy and comfortable, but working out how much they cost and minimising those costs.
And what is it about the University of Nottingham itself that makes it the ideal choice for studying both architecture and built environment here?
Well, we offer a range of programs that covers all aspects of building design, so from the outside shell and the design and the usability to the inside of the shell and the delivery of comfort, healthy environments. So if you are looking to specialize in an area that could be from a sustainable urban design perspective, which is one of our courses, to a sustainable building design perspective, which is actually then focusing inside the building and the spaces, to a building performance engineering, it's understanding how the building performs and delivers its program and its activities inside, all the way to a design and build program where students can design and actually build an inhabitable space.
For me, it's extraordinary links with industry. Many of the people who teach on the programs have professional experience. I spent a decade in industry myself before turning to academia and teaching. But we also are a research-led university, being a Russell Group university, and so the things that our students are taught are often at the cutting edge of research. Furthermore, we're strongly linked with government. We're strongly linked with chartered institutions such as the Royal Institution of British Architects and the Chartered Institution of Building Services Engineers. And we have an oversight panel of industrialists who watch and tell us what we should be teaching and whether we're doing that well enough. And in summary for that, most of our programs are accredited by those two chartered institutions that I mentioned.
And can you give me some examples of any real world projects that students have got involved in on these courses?
So our programs use real-world case studies for the delivery of teaching activities. So they might be learning more theoretical things in the classroom, but they're always going to be applying to a live project. In the architectural programs, we often pick a site that is a real-life site. There's a client, there's an authority involved, there's a real brief, there's real constraints, and which makes much more fun. So we ask the students then to think about the delivery of their program. It may be advanced architecture design, or sustainable urban design, or sustainable building design, or design and build in the context of that real-life project. So we worked in many projects across the board. We've got, for example, the Nottingham Front Basin, which is a local development of sustainable housing, very well known. The students have worked on the projects from inception, from designing and thinking about the ideas at the very beginning. We've got the Creative Energy Homes, which is a combination of 8 houses on campus, where students can participate in design, delivery and understanding of performance of both design but also building systems.
For engineers, we're often not working on existing buildings. We're often working on buildings that are about to be built. And so a lot of our work is theoretical, but we still do have real world case studies too. We study a lot of the buildings that we find on campus. If there's any building work going on campus, we're right there with our hard hats on and our steel toe cap boots, watching those go up and seeing what's going on. But I would emphasize the creative energy homes that we've got. 7 extraordinarily varied, completely different types of house that no other institution or university has in the UK, and that's an amazing resource.
All across the globe. I also should mention we've got through our design and build program that runs alongside another program, we have designed and built 16 crashes across the globe. Actually, most of them in South Africa. We don't necessarily do that every year, but most of the years we have the students have the ability to get engaged in a real-life project. That means that over 4,000 school kids, preschool kids age, are now homed within crashes where they learn. Their families can go and work. It's very rural. It's a fantastic project. It brings energy, water, sanitation, and a school to each of those communities. So that's very unique to our program, are very unique to our department, and also exceptionally impactful across the world.
And I think you mentioned it briefly there, but what are some of the other facilities that are open to postgraduate students and help them with their learning here?
So we mentioned the Creative Energy Homes. These are homes that are partially occupied by general people, families, and others that occupy as offices. They give us the ability to control everything, that we have large sets of data, so we know what people are doing, when they're doing, how they're doing. We can impact on energy generation, for example, energy use, powering the car, discharging a car, They also set up as a mini microgrid, which means we can try and test different ways of managing a community without relying on the energy grid. And that's quite an important solution when it comes to energy efficiency. In addition to that, we also use our campuses as a lab, and that's really special too. Our university is always on the top sustainable universities in the world. Our state is really keen to participate, and they offer, I think you mentioned some of the buildings we do, they offer spaces or buildings, or they ask for solutions that our students can engage with. And again, they're real life solution, real life problems they can engage and understand. And that's quite spectacular to be part of that, actually.
So I would mention the 3D Design Centre that we have, which has the ability to do 3D printing, a whole range of moulding and milling techniques that can be done. A lot of our labs are based around our architecture studios too. And at the centre of that, at the heart of that, is a cafe. And that's really important. One of the things that's always mentioned when we're accredited is a collegiate feel of the department. The fact that we have our own corner of the main campus at the top of the hill, sandwiched between the lake on one side and Woollerton Park on the other, and it's just a joy to work in.
And what do you think finally would be the one thing that you both enjoy most about working in this department at the university?
You just hint there, my absolute favourite thing about being on University of Nottingham campus is just the greenery. We are so privileged. We sat within acres of green spaces and parkland and gardens, and we're surrounded by bunnies, aren't we? I watch them. So that's absolutely one of my favorite things across the campus. The other thing that I absolutely love is the diversity, and the fact that we've got people from all over the globe, all cultures, all different levels. We have students that are come from everywhere, but also staff, and everyone is so welcoming. It's such a diverse community. It's a beautiful place to be.
And I would add to that, being a teacher, it's really wonderful to see the way that students develop over their time with us. Often they come in, they don't have the domain knowledge. We give them the domain knowledge, we send them off into the world, and they remain in touch. And some of them are now collaborators with us. Others we see at a distance and see them thrive and leading industry, having spent their time with us at Nottingham.
Thank you so much to you both for coming to chat with me, and we will be right back after this.
I am now joined by Dave Feely, Head of Direct Admissions, to talk us through the application process for postgraduate study. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
So, as we know, for most people applying to undergraduate courses, they can get advice from their schools or UCAS about the process. But at postgraduate level, there isn't the same structures in place. What advice would you give to someone looking to apply for a postgraduate course?
First of all, I'll try and think about what you're trying to get out of your postgraduate course. Whether you're looking for career progression, in which case, which course is going to provide that for you. Some people are studying postgraduate courses mainly for interest-based, in which case take a look at the modules that you'll be sitting inside the course as well. There's lots of courses that have very similar titles, but the content is very different. So it's worth taking a look at the modules and making sure that course you'll be studying what you want to study. It's worth going onto websites to look at the entry criteria. So many of our courses will have an overall grade, it's an entry criteria, but there'll also be courses that have module specifics or subject specifics that you need to be studying in your current course. So it's worth going on to make sure that the course you're taking will prepare you correctly for the master's course that you want to study. But it's worth noting that with the entry criteria, you don't need to have met all the criteria before you've applied. The majority of our students will be applying to as well, still studying on their previous course, and we'll be able to make them a decision based on their progress to that point on their undergraduate level course.
So once an application has been submitted, what happens next?
Okay, so our team will pick that up and we'll start processing that based on the information that you've provided on your application form. you will have created a My Nottingham Hub account as part of your application process. And through that, you'll be able to go back there whenever you want to and check the progression of your application. The team themselves are very experienced, and they receive applications from qualifications all over the world. So the chances are they will have seen your qualifications before and understand them. But it's worth always checking your inbox and your spam box just in case we do have any questions, because if we do, that's how we'll choose to contact you. If you think that you might have missed a communication from us, if you've not heard from us, then you can go back on to check your My Nottingham accounts, and here we'll have uploaded any communication that we've tried to send you, so you can go on there and just to check. Once we've received all the information that's necessary for us, hopefully we'll be able to supply you with a conditional offer, and if we do that, we'll email that across to you, and that will contain all the information you need to know about what you need to do to meet those conditions. And also, if you're applying for one of our business school courses, it'll give you details about how you pay your deposit and the deadlines for you to do so.
And for students applying from a different country, is there anything else that they also need to think about?
Yeah, so students applying from different countries, you can either choose to apply independently, or many of them choose to apply using an agent. It's completely personal preference, and it's up to your own circumstances. When you're applying from overseas, you might want to look at what funding is available, and you'll be able to look at this by going onto our website, where we'll list all our different scholarships that are available to you. But we won't just list our own as well. You can go on there and check external scholarships that are available, and there'll also be some search tools as well, so you can independently go away and research what might be the best option for you. There's a few other things that you need to consider. Some courses require ATAS for international students. If your course is one of those, once you've accepted our offer, we'll provide you with all the details and all the steps that you need to take to get your ATAS granted. But I would say it's important to start that process as early as possible. Sometimes that can take a while to come through, and we wouldn't be able to issue you with your CAS until you've had your ATAS granted. International students could also receive an English language qualification condition, in which case we'll list on our website all the different qualifications that are available. There's lots of different ones that we accept, and it'll also give you advice on what grade you need to achieve to meet that condition of your offer. Yeah.
Perfect. And if you think about results, so what should applicants do when they have just received their results?
So once you've received your results, it's important to get them to us as early as possible. Even if you haven't met the conditions of your offer, we would ask you to upload them and get them to us. There are circumstances when people who haven't fully met the conditions of their offer can still be accepted, but we won't know if that's the case unless you provide us with your results. To provide the results, you go to your My Nottingham account and you'll upload them. We'll ask you to provide a good quality scan, or if it's not in its original form, we would ask for a colour certified copy, and that's translated into English if not in its original form. If you have multiple conditions that are outstanding with your account, I'd also recommend not waiting until you have completed them all and uploading them together. Do that as and when you complete them, and that will just help smooth the process through.
And if I'm correct, like postgraduate research applications can have a few differences. Could you tell us more about those?
Yeah, so for postgraduate talk courses, mostly they'll start in the autumn. With research courses, you'll find that quite a few of them will have start dates throughout the year. If you're in a position where you might want to start earlier or later, then have a look at the course start dates and see what's available for you to apply to. One of the biggest differences with research courses is the research proposal or the research topic, and finding a supervisor that matches that research before you put through an application. If you go on our website, you can find all our different academics, research topics and research areas, and you can find out which one that matches you. And lots of our applicants will choose to contact them or email them in advance to talk through whether they have capacity to take on extra researchers, or to talk through their proposal before they submit their application. If you know what funding that you're going to have at that point, it's also a good idea to include that, because researchers do have a small capacity, so any extra information that you can give them is beneficial to that process. You will also find that some supervisors will advertise studentships on our website. If you're applying for these, they have different application processes to a normal postgraduate research application. So it's worth just taking time to go through that process and make sure you understand it and do everything that you need to do. And other research opportunities or other funding opportunities, you might want to look at different research councils. And again, they'll have their own application processes. This will all be detailed on their websites and it will be quite complex, but it's just worth taking the time out to make sure you understood everything before submitting those applications.
And if you had one piece of advice for anyone considering an application, making an application, what would that be?
So there'll be deadlines on our website for pretty much every part of the application process. We'll open for new applications the 1st of June. So that's about 15-16 months before the start date of the course. But my biggest piece of advice was to do everything as early as you possibly can. So although there will be deadlines, things like courses will close before the deadlines if they become full. Some processes like ATAS or applying for visas can take longer than you expect. So if you're in a position to start part of the process, don't delay. Try and avoid any disappointment that you might have by something closing or by something not coming through in time.
Thank you so much for this informative session, Dave. And we'll be right back after this.
We now welcome Teresa Cochrane from the Careers and Employability Service, who'll be talking us through the support available to postgraduate students to help them with the next step in their careers. Welcome to you, Teresa. So first of all, what's some of the support that you offer to both students and graduates?
So we are a really well-resourced team overall, the Careers and Employability Service. We have about 80 staff members supporting our students. So within that, we can offer a range of support. If students don't know what they want to do, they can come and see us. We can help them with diagnostic tools to help them to figure out their personality styles, their preferences, their interest areas. And from that, we can help them to direct them into the careers that might suit them. We also offer a range of appointments that students can book into, whether that's online or in person. And that will help us to kind of talk to students about the things that might support them in their chosen career. So if they don't know what they want to do, we can help them work that out. If they really have a clear idea, we can help to point them to some of the resources, events and extracurricular activities that might help them. In addition to that, we have lots of support in terms of our events. So our students can book onto employer events where they can meet employers, network with them, find out about the industries that they're interested in. We also offer support in terms of workshops from our career development staff. So if you are struggling perhaps in interview skills or with making applications, we can talk you through how to do that in the most effective way. And in addition to that, we have support resources that can help with all aspects of the recruitment process. So from interview skills, CVs, employer testing, we even have AI-driven CV review software that our students can use.
And does the university help students connect with potential employers?
Yes. So if you are a postgraduate student or maybe an international student, you might have been to careers fairs in overseas universities. It works slightly differently in the UK. We have a range of careers fairs that our students can attend. It won't be a process of offering our students jobs on the spot, like it might be in campus recruitment overseas. I know that takes place in China and India. In the UK, it's more about understanding the roles, thinking about how that recruitment process will take place, all the different aspects within that, and maybe how our students can prepare for that. So for example, some of our employers will come on campus with recent graduates, talk them through what it's like to work in that organisation, the culture, the expectations. They might even bring in something like gamification assessments so that our students can practice those at our careers fairs, and really just to understand what it might be like to work with that organisation. We are actually the third most targeted university in the UK by some of the top employers in the UK. That was from some research last year that came out. So that means that lots of the top employers are actually on campus in our fairs. Those can range from our finance management fairs to veterinary schools to science, technology and engineering. So there's a whole host of different fairs that are available for all of our students. In addition to that, employers often come on campus and offer events to help our students with skill development. Students can book onto that through our online portal. And we also have lots of ways that our students can engage with employers. So we offer micro internships, which are 2-week placement opportunities where students can undertake a project just for 2 weeks with an employer, gaining skills in research, analytical skills, communication skills, team working, and maybe just meeting a deadline on time as well. Postgraduate Placements Nottingham is a scheme that we run in the university specifically for postgraduates. That would offer our students about 100 to 200 hours of work with an employer, and we're really aiming for those higher level skills, so analytical skills, research, being able to independently work on a project for an organisation. So they're great ways, they're paid opportunities and great ways for our students to engage with employers. In addition to that, we also have other in-curricular and outside of curricular activities. So some of our students will choose to do their dissertation as a project for an employer. So they will undertake research for an employer, solve a problem that they might have, but also gain credit in their course for that kind of activity. And we also offer activities outside of the course. So we have a programme called our Digital Marketing Academy. So that is a programme where students work for about 3 months. They'll gain qualifications in things like digital skills, search engine optimization, maybe Google Analytics qualifications. They'll also work with employers who are working in the digital marketing space to gain insights and experience, and then they'll at the final stage of that project they'll work with that employer to solve a problem for them. There's another programme we have called the Nottingham Consulting Challenge, and within that's a 6-week programme, a chance for our students to work in a group project with employers to solve a problem for them. So that would be getting a chance to work with lots of other students from across the university, developing communication skills, team working, analytical skills, producing a presentation right at the end of that and alongside a report. So there are so many opportunities. Our students won't be able to do all of them, but they will hopefully be able to fit something in around their studies.
And what are some of the resources that they can access from the Careers Service whilst they're studying?
Yeah, we've got a really good wealth of resources for our students. So these can range from anything like the diagnostic tools I talked about earlier. So that might be the Myers-Briggs type indicator, personality profiling. A lot of our careers consultants are trained in strengths profiling as well, so that's a way that we can help students to understand themselves better. We also have some more practical resources to help with things like recruitment and selection processes. So we've invested in AI CV reading software. That's really helped our students to understand how their CV might be read by an employer, and to hopefully help them to pass through that process more easily. It's also helped the careers team to understand what employers are doing in terms of screening those CVs and applications. So that's one aspect. We also then have employer testing software, so our students can get experience of doing situational judgment tests, which are very common with employers, numerical tests, logical reasoning, a whole host of different assessments that might be presented to them in a recruitment exercise. They'll do the assessment, find out whether they are going too quickly and not very accurately, or vice versa. They'll also get feedback on their answers, and that will allow them to hopefully get the right answer next time. There's lots of feedback on what the correct answer might be. So hopefully that will allow our students to increase their performance in employer tests. We have video interview resources, which again give AI feedback, but also feedback from one of our careers consultants. And those video interviews can be tailored around specific job roles. So if a student's going for a specific job, it's actually going to be a video interview. We can tailor that interview to be a realistic kind of simulation of what might happen. That will always be subsidised with feedback from our careers consultants to make sure that students can really improve their performance in things like interviews.
And do you offer any support for international students or students that don't want to work in the UK when they graduate?
Yes, we have some specific support packages that will help our students if they are looking for work in the UK but don't have the permanent right to work in the UK. It will help them to identify at least 300 employers who have been hiring consistently international graduates over the last 3 to 4 years. That will cover a range of different sectors. We are also well versed in visa and immigration rules, so we work closely with immigration advisors, solicitors, and also with the visa and immigration team within the university. So we make sure that all of our staff are really well trained in that area of work, so we can provide information to our students to really help them to maximise their chances of being employed within the UK under the rules and regulations that are in place. If you're wanting to work outside the UK, we also host a range of events, information and resources support. So we have a package of support which will allow our students to see things like CV conventions, labour market information for lots of different countries and cities overseas. That will help them to then make their applications more effective. And we build relationships with lots of overseas employers. So, for example, next month we're hosting the Asia Career Insights programme for our students. That's 4 days of employer talks from Chinese employers, those from Southeast Asia, Hong Kong and Singapore. So lots of opportunities for our students, even if they want to work overseas. We regularly also host information sessions to our students about working overseas. So we have a China Connect, India Connect and Africa Connect programme that I've been involved in, and that has involved employers and people with labour market insights for overseas countries to come back and provide advice to our students and to our graduates as well.
Teresa, thank you so much for joining me today, and we will be right back after this. I'm now joined by Liz Havel, Business Support Manager, to tell us more about accommodation options for postgraduate students. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
So, my first question, how do I book my postgraduate accommodation through the accommodation services if I'm coming to the University of Nottingham?
So the best thing to do would be to visit our accommodation website. So it's nottingham.ac.uk www.weareUoN.org/accommodation. And there's lots of helpful information on there about how postgraduates can apply for their accommodation. Also, we've got some advisors that can support. So if they want to get in touch, we've got a contact us section. Any questions about the process, about applying, or any other information that they want to ask or consider, then they can get in touch either using an online form on our website. They can have a one-to-one Teams chat and send us an email, or we've got a live chat function on our website as well. Applications open in mid-April, so postgraduate students can apply anytime from mid-April.
And what are the benefits of booking your postgraduate accommodation through the accommodation services itself?
We would always recommend postgraduates book through the University of Nottingham accommodation services for the simple reason that we've got such a big portfolio of accommodation. That's both accommodation that's owned and managed by the University of Nottingham and carefully selected accredited partners that we work with. We've got a real good mixture of on-campus and off-campus accommodation, and booking through us means that students, postgraduate students, will secure the best prices available and live pricing at that time for our accommodation.
And in terms of, where postgrads are going to live, are they together with undergraduates, or is there any sort of separation?
So we have a mixture. We have postgraduate accommodation specifically, and then we have accommodation where it is mixed with postgraduate students and undergraduate students. But what I would say is where that accommodation is mixed, we try to keep those students in clusters, so all postgraduate students would be put together in that accommodation. So although it would be a mixed site, it would be specifically postgraduate students that would be placed together.
And in terms of what facilities are available, is there catering or self-catering options, and how does it work in terms of like kitchens shared or to the students themselves?
Okay, so with our postgraduate students, it's self-catered accommodation that we offer. I would always say check our website for specific facilities that are available in that accommodation. They can also have a virtual tour of all accommodation types, so it's always well worth just having a check. There is shared kitchens, there could be private kitchens, again depending on the accommodation. So it's always worth checking. Also, we have a meal pass app, so postgraduate students, even though they're self-catered, they can download the Meal Pass app, and it's a cashless system where they can purchase food and drink on campus outlets, and they get offers and discounts that are on that app as well. So if they did want to have some form of catering that's on campus, then they could have a look at the Meal Pass app, but otherwise it tends to be self-catered.
And in terms of where students will be living, how far are the accommodation options from the teaching and departmental buildings?
What I'll say is that we're an on-campus university, and we've got that on-campus accommodation. So we've got accommodation that can be selected that's very close to academic buildings. We've got off-campus accommodation. You could stay on one campus but study on another campus. So it really is choice. So I would always say check where the academic building is, check where the accommodation is, and you'll be able to do a check on the internet just to find out what the exact distance is for that property. But everything is accessible within reason. So we run if you are further out and you're off campus, we've got the hopper buses that run between all of the university campuses, so Sutton Bonington, Kings Meadow campus, University Park, Jubilee, the Royal Derby Hospital. So students have got access to those buses, and we've got great public transport in Nottingham as well. But I would say that most things are fairly close to academic buildings, but it just depends on the specifics of which accommodation and which academic building.
And how can students find out how much each different type of accommodation will cost them?
So again, I would say visit our website, so nottingham.ac.uk/accommodation. We've got all of our pricing on there. You can filter through accommodation, so you can filter specific postgraduate accommodation, and you will get all of the licence terms. You'll get the virtual tours and the pricing that's on the website. Postgraduate licences tend to be based on 51 weeks. So it's always worth having a look at the licence term, and depending on what you want from your accommodation would depend on the cost of the accommodation. But we try to offer reasonable accommodation for most budgets. And once again, if students, postgraduate students, are booking through the university website, then they've got access to the best prices at that time.
And what's in place to help students settle in to postgrad life once they're settled in their accommodation?
So once they're settled in accommodation, we've got our residential experience team that are ready to support them. So our residential experience team, they can run activities, social activities. They can get postgraduate students involved in networking with other students and making friends. And then also we've got a dedicated wellbeing team. So there's lots of support once settled into our accommodation. We've got our welcome points for our halls teams. So if postgraduate students are staying on campus, they're able to access support through our welcome points. Our third parties have dedicated teams of staff that are available to support security and residential support staff.
Liz, thank you very much for that. And we will be right back after this. It's now time for us to wrap up the event. We hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and that you've now got a greater feel for what studying at the University of Nottingham is like.
There was a lot of information in the event today, but don't worry. You'll be able to watch this video back on the same link you used to access today's event shortly after it finishes.
If you've asked any questions, you'll get a direct reply from our team. So keep an eye on Slido for a response if you haven't had one already. And remember, you can find out more about anything we've covered today by visiting the website.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you at the University of Nottingham very soon.